Hey parents, we have a case that came into our office recently, and it may resonate with you or someone that you know is also going through very similar situations. Nolan came in and he's a 2.5-year-old who's been diagnosed with autism. He struggled with low tone, which impacts his gross motor skills. It's impacting his overall development very significantly. It's also affecting how he walks due to low tone and also just poor sensory, limited speech, and also very frequent behavioral issues. Although Nolan's been in almost every therapy for over 2 years, his mother felt like he was getting stuck and wasn't able to process. And she says that basically she feels like he's been plateaued in that process. So Nolan desperately needed help building his core strength, his coordination, and also just regulation skills. And it turns out that the root cause of those challenges wasn't problems with his muscles and joints, but instead with his central and autonomic nervous system that controls, coordinates all motor tone and coordination in a developing child. That's when they finally found us, a neurologically focused pediatric chiropractor here in Leland. Nolan experienced some major breakthroughs with his low tone, and he began to process once again his gross motor development increased. He was able to process sensory testing, and now he's actually able to walk and run, making huge strides forward. Up to 50% of children with autism struggle with low tone, and many kids struggling have also sensory processing disorder, speech delays, ADHD. They all have challenges of low tone and in coordination as well. This demonstrates an important link between hypotonia or low tone, each of the common most developmental disorders in kids, especially autism. So what causes muscle tone? The most common contributing factors are breech position in utero, high stress pregnancies, and also any physical birth trauma like forceps, vacuum extraction, induction, and C-section are often overlooked as causing low tone in those birthing processes. So what we really look for is where that tone disrupts the neurological pathway and signal to our muscles that causes issues with interference in the nervous system, and it doesn't communicate, at least the low tone and other developmental challenges in kids, and it must be addressed first before any changes and progress can be made with the muscles and expected to stick or last. So it's not a short-term fix. So what we talk about when we get stuck is before the tone in the core. This happens in utero, in birth trauma. It creates tension, hypertonicity, and subluxation in the upper neck, brainstem, and even those upper backs or traps. There is such a thing where the brain cannot get the tone and the core extremities to communicate properly like it needs, and that affects the child's confidence, self-esteem, its willingness to participate in sports, social activities. Their challenges and frustrations mount. They don't get involved in sports and so forth, and they continue to struggle. The great thing about neurologically focused chiropractic is that we are able to help with the root cause of these cases. While traditional therapy focused solely on strengthening the core muscles, working on core strength and so forth, to really address low motor tone, we dive deep into the root cause, something called a subluxation. It's a neuromuscular dysfunction. The key to restoring strength and function is to add in what's called neurotonal chiropractic adjustments. It addresses the imbalance and interference within the nervous system, and it restores and enhances communication between the brainstem and the muscles. Our adjustments can activate key neurological pathways to improve core strength, stability, overall posture, and even just movement in general. The way that we're able to see these shifts in caring for cases like this is it all starts with finding the root cause. We do that through neurological scans, through insight scans. It basically shows us where that muscle tone is not functioning properly. And we have 3 different scans. We have an inflammation scan, an HRV scan, and also an SEMG scan. If your child struggles with low tone and it's affecting their physical abilities, development, and confidence, we know how frustrating that can be, and you want to see them thriving, running, playing without restrictions, and you want to make sure that their overall brain and nervous system development is on track. It helps with speech, socialization, behavioral regulation later in life, but the first step is to schedule your child's insight scan. That's where we can find out exactly where and if they have neurological subluxation and stress on the spinal cord affecting the central nervous system. From there, we can precisely tailor a care plan and adjusting protocol to help restore that neurological communication, connection, and tone to your child's nervous system so that the muscles can finally respond to activity and therapy and get back on track developmentally. So often parents report to us that they can see motor tone changes and improvements in just a matter of a few adjustments or even a few minutes after an adjustment. Their child is off to the races from there. So if this really touches home to you, please direct message us or give us a call, because our goal is to spread the idea that your body is created wonderfully by God. And sometimes there's things that get in the way, whether it's physically, neurologically, of it functioning properly. So with neurologically focused chiropractic, our job is to locate that subluxation, very gently and specifically reset that nervous system so that your body and brain can communicate properly. That way it gives you the best chance to develop, to heal anything that isn't functioning properly. And we have seen this time and time again through our very toughest case in our office, whether it's a perfect storm kiddo that's just having behavioral issues, autism, ADHD, seizures, or what we consider just kind of a wellness type case, school starting back, meeting new friends. We can still get stuck in that stressed fight or flight. But when we talk about low tone at an early age leads to other things as we get older. We don't grow out of low tone. We just grow into other issues as we get older. So if this touches you, or if you know somebody that this could help, please give them that information and reach out to us. Come in and do a scan. See for yourself exactly what's going on in your nervous system.